25 years of rich and dynamic experience in human resource and strategic planning with manufacturing as well as service industries. Sir is presently working as a Group VP HR with India's leading FMCG company. He proved his skills in heading and managing human resource functions of various renowned business houses. Sir has excelled in implementation of world-class HR processes along with distinction in developing and introducing new models and services in excellent communication and analytical skills. Sir is owned with the ability to foster work culture and engage people to their best. Sir is a proven change manager. Sir was awarded MET HR Excellence Award for the personal motivation in the year 2009. Responsible to create performance-driven organization, Sir managed startups with best-in-class HR services and processes. Sir has won Jury of the Youth Excellence Award for the year 2011. Sir has been a visiting faculty for various B schools. Sir, the stage is all yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sure. Can everybody hear me right at the end? Yes, great. You already had 2 sessions, or maybe I don't know. I was present in 2 sessions of people talking to you about leadership. Suddenly it stuck to my mind that I should not. But the previous speaker was saying there are 5 pair of eyes which were closing. So I thought of let's not do something where more eyes get closed. So my interaction would be more of an interactive than just showing you a couple of slides. So we will dwell upon what is leadership. As I see that people who are from different specialization and field, people from HR, people from marketing, maybe finance, telecom. Well, that reminds me of if they can hear me, I can. Okay. That reminds me of one of my personal experience, which I have gone through when I was young like you. And lately I have termed it as a power works. I was working with one of the manufacturing industry here in Pune. I have spent 12 years in Pune. And there was a strike. And my maintenance guy was union leader and he was standing outside of the gate and bashing like anything. And there was a piece of equipment which came from overseas and that was very crucial because the product which it was supposed to manufacture was to again exported. And I was only an executive. And my maintenance manager was in shiver because the person who was bashing the company, Indian leader, was a crane operator. And he is supposed to download the equipment and then only it can go. And he didn't have a courage to go to the union meeting and say, come down please, download this piece of equipment. And after doing everything, he just looked at his maintenance supervisor, very small guy, and he just explained him, requested him, what can we do? He said, Saab, fakta 2 minute deva. You understand Marathi? Yes, okay, never mind, you will understand. So he said, fakta 2 minute deva. And he went to the gate. He didn't make any voice contact. He made only eye contact and did like this. And the guy who was bashing on the stage came down meekly and downloaded the equipment. So what do you think? That was probably that time was a very very common and not very important incident for me. But over the years when I realized and termed it power works, what do you think, what had happened? A work which a manager could not do was done by a supervisor. Probably, I think I went up from the head and not been able to explain. Let me take it to a different way. How many are from the HR? Oh, many. Great. And we all talk about different jargons of talent acquisition, engagement, OD intervention, so on and so forth. Somebody's birthday, I mean, I'm sure there must be, it must have been taught if somebody's birthday, you should go and wish him. So every organization, like you just heard someone that a person when he joins, along with his family, his parents are also insured. We take proud of saying that in our organization, not only family, even parents are insured. So anyway, so somebody's birthday, there is a automated SMS goes to him or her saying happy birthday. So in the last couple of years, we as a manager have become more of a technical manager than the people manager. We believe on jargons, we believe on technology, and while doing so, we have forgotten that we are people manager, not technology manager. So what happens? We have no contact with the people. Our contact is only technology. And unfortunately, unlike technology, each people demand, aspiration, needs, and behavior are different than technology. So we miss the point there. Well, that was only a talk from my side. So I am not going to keep on showing slides and talk it out. I'll try and be as interactive as you should not or cannot be sleep. So we'll talk about leadership, and I'm not going to my industry, which is food. And I heard my predecessor saying that his industry is recession-proof. Well, I go a step ahead and say, as long as you eat healthy, you don't need medicines. And to eat healthy, I am here. So food industry is another recession-proof industry. Okay. So we will talk about leadership expectations of the modern organization. That's why I'm not going into my industry or anybody's industry, because I strongly believe that leadership is not industry specific. It doesn't have any color or shade. A leader is a leader, whether in industry A or industry B. So what I would do is, to prove my point, we'll have some of the clips. And in the end of every clip, I would need a feedback from you, is what have you derived out of that flick? Okay, I guess let's move to a clip. Everybody has seen this movie, right? Good. Please, switch off the lights. Don't worry, I'll rerun it. But I don't think that needs much of a voice.
तो ये इंसानियत के नाम पे सबसे बड़ा कलंक होएगा। और फिर आज के बाद कोई भी वैद को भगवान का दूसरा रूप नहीं मानेगा। दूध पर छूत अछूत की छाप लगाई कि दूध तो आप ब्रश कर रहे हो। सारे गांव की सांस ही छूत अछूत के धुएं से काहे घोट रहे हो मुखिया जी? चमड़ी के नाम पे मन को छलना कौन नेक काम है का? फिर काहे पूछते राम जी को जिनने सबरी के झूठे बेर खाए? जो भगवान सबकी नैया पार लगावत है वो की नैया एक छोटे जाति के नाविक ने पार लगाई। ही सब जानने के बाद भी छूत अछूत की बात करे हो? और आप ही सर काका, आप तो वैद हो, पीड़ा हरते हो, रोगी की नाड़ी परख के उसका इलाज करते हो। क्या आपका शास्त्र यही कहता है कि अछूत का इलाज ना किया जाए, उसको मरने दिया जाए? अगर ऐसा है तो ये इंसानियत के नाम पे सबसे बड़ा कलंक होएगा। और फिर आज के बाद कोई भी वैद को भगवान का दूसरा रूप नहीं मानेगा। वो सब छोड़ भुवन, तू तो तगड़ा खिलाड़ी चाहे था ना, ये कचरा तो लूला है। तेरे हाथ सलामत है ना? देवी मां मेहरबान लाखा सो कह रहा है, मगर जिस कलाई को तूने लूला कहा है वही हमारी सबसे बड़ी ताकत बनेगी। देख लेना, ये बेजान सा पंजा ही हमका जीत दिलाएगा। एक बात आप सब लोगों का फिर से याद दिलाई दो, ये सिर्फ खेल नहीं है जो हम किसी के मौज मनोरंजन के लिए खेलते हैं। ये एक लड़ाई है जो हमका जीतनी है। हमारा मकसद सिर्फ एक है, लगान से मुक्ति, गांव की खुशहाली। और उनके वास्ते मैं मरते दम तक किसी के सामने नहीं झुकूंगा। आप लोगों मेरा साथ दे या ना दे, मगर कचरा खेलेगा।
भुवन बेटा, जो आंखें पूरी तरह से खुल गई हों, उनमें तो शर्म भी नहीं आ सकत।
मैं ईश्वर भाई से सहमत हूं। भुवन तो ठीक ही कहा था।
Have I entertained you? A leader has to be a good entertainer also. Okay, coming back, there are three very distinct traits were shown of a leader in this clip. What are those? Convincing. Okay. Uniting. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I guess too many. Unbiased. Okay, great, very good. You all are good leaders. The three traits which has been shown in this, one is conviction. Bhuvan had a conviction that the guy Kachra is a good player. So the leader has to have conviction. Second important point was focus. His focus was not to get the entire village united. His focus was, this is a war, and we will do anything and everything to win the war. Okay, great. So let's get back to the leadership expectations. What is leadership? Anyone? What do you think is a leader? You see, there are so many leaders exist and have existed in this world, and each one of has a different trait. I don't want to name any of them, but you have leaders who had never asked anyone to follow him, yet people followed him. You have leaders who had came down from the dais with the baton and asked people to sit down, to the extent of putting a gun on the people's head. Everybody was leader. So what do you perceive as a leader? Influencing other initiator. Okay. Let's get back to my perception of leadership. Performs one or more act of leading. Affects human behavior as to accomplish a mission. That's why I've shown you this clip. Influencing a group of people to move towards its goal setting and goal achievement. Most of the leaders have two things absolutely common. Immaterial of his traits, his or her traits and behavioral attributes. They are very focused. They know their goal. And second is they are very, very good communicator. The best of the leaders have been able to communicate their focus in a most simplest method. Let's get into one more clip. How many of you have heard a man called Karl Bascher? Okay, let me dwell a little further. He is the only black Navy soldier who rose to a rank of master diver. Man of honor. Okay. Let me show you a clip and then we'll again dwell upon what have you.
Irrelevant. Gentlemen, sirs, returning to the issue at hand. This is not the time or place for Senior Chief Pursuit. Excuse me, Senior Chief, is there a problem?
Captain Hanks, I have spent most of my life in the Navy trying only to succeed. However, my quest has come at a great personal loss to those who love me. They too have made sacrifices. They too have endured great pains to support me. If I walk these 12 steps today, reinstate me to active duty. Give me my career back. Let me finish it and go home in peace.
Senior Chief Bashir, the business of the modern Navy.
Forgive me, sir, but to me the Navy is not a business. We have many traditions. In my career I've experienced most of them. Some good, some bad. However, I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for our greatest tradition of all.
And which one is that?
Honor, sir.
Get on with it, Senior Chief.
Leslie?
I'll let you down.
Now walk on it. Leslie.
My dad's name, got a problem with that?
No problem at all.
Bad things like to leave gonna snap like a matchstick. I think you know better than good. 290 pounds on one leg. You'll be passed out about a 6th step. Tenders at the diver. I recall the Navy Regulation Manual correctly, the diver may be held to his feet. This is a lot of brass to slang up from a seated position, sir.
It's spun copper, Chief. We haven't used brass in a decade. And the new manual states the diver must rise unassisted.
That's what it says in the new book, sir? If I may ask, Captain, how would you know?
I wrote it.
Yes, sir. Navy diver, stand up. Square that rig and approach the rail.
Gentlemen's leg. Please. Gentlemen. Navy divers, stand down.
Diver, you will disregard. This is my detail. So I want my 12. The Navy diver is not a fighting man. He is a salvage expert. 10. If it's lost underwater, he finds it. If it's sunk, he brings it up. If it's in the wave, he moves it. 11. If he's lucky, he will die young 200 feet beneath the waves. Well, that is the closest he will ever get to being a hero. Hell, I don't know why anybody want to be a Navy diver. Now you report to this line, Cookie.
Those who have not seen this movie probably will not have the kind of a background. He is the man who had lost his leg, saving whom? Saving the captain who was in the judge's chair. And he was to be removed. If you have watched it carefully, Karl Basha says, this is not my career. This is not about a business. This is my career. So what have you learned? What are the kind of, who are the leader here? Oh, great. Captain means the guy who was in the judge position? Okay. To your information, I always show this clip whenever I talk about leadership. Probably has two reasons. One is unknown fact to you. I started my career with Army. And two is the conviction, the power of this clip which has on people. The guy who was instructor was not officer captain, he was only sergeant. Who else? Do you think that the diver Karl Basher was a leader? Why?
Willpower.
Okay, what is the message here in this clip? Never give up, okay? You see, this is common. One should not give up, does not need a leadership. What is the leadership message here? Okay? Understand strength and weaknesses of your team. And even if you are aware of that mission cannot be successful because there are pitfalls, yet a leader, his face would not show up. He'll stand up against odds. The sergeant knew that the Karl Basher cannot walk 12 paces. Yet he made him. So that's a leadership. That's why if you look at the slide, it says leadership involves paradoxes, dilemmas, contrast, and conflicts. A good leader would manage all those things. Leadership cannot be defined. It's like a beauty which cannot be defined. You can only tell when you see it. Most of us in our entire life spent does not show or behave anything about leadership, and one small act someday makes him a leader. And I'm sure nobody has ever thought of why such thing happens. Why such thing happens? No idea. Because leadership is something which is inherent. Everybody is a leader. It depends how much honing, how much conviction, how much contrast you have to bring it out. The challenge is most of us get into the paradigms and the society's paradigms and subdued our leadership. These are the three core elements of leadership. Take responsibility for delivering results. Since I am from HR, so obviously I'll talk about employees. Work through employees, be a coach and develop your employees. As a leader, when I was sent the invitation, I got thrilled. It says 2,000 student managers. And I said, wow, I'm going to. Unfortunately, my friend, all managers are not good leaders. So, transform yourself from manager to a leader. And please believe me, immaterial of you are having a technical background, non-technical background, at some point of a time, your technical competencies will take a backseat and your leadership trait would take a front seat. So prepare today rather than wait for tomorrow. Well, I don't think this needs much of explanation. You all are aware of when I joined long time back. 90s, the time when I started working, maybe 1990 I started working in a corporate civil society. But that's how it had evolved itself from physical labor, master apprentice, observable, overseeing process management, repetitive tasks. And it is continuously evolving to what it is today. I cannot vouch for the system and process or the behavioral attributes which I've seen when I landed in a manufacturing setup here in itself, Pune, way back in 1992, and what I see here in 2012. Things have dramatically changed. It is no more what it used to be. Now, people are knowledgeable. People are now thinking managers, thinking people. To manage them is not an easy task. That was a traditional organization, stability, hierarchy, work from, to put your perspective, I was really amazed seeing my predecessors talking, and 17 months, that's what I keep meeting in a campus placement and ask people, is what is the longest time you would spend in the organization? They say, look left, right, 2 years. When I said 2 years, well, sir, we will spend 4 years. And then that is the trend, sir. That's how we, so, and that got ratified. If 4 years is the longest time. And when I ask people, okay, what is the attrition rate when we do a lateral hiring? What is the attrition rate which your organization has? 10%, 15%, 17%, 25%. And our answer to them is, look, I think you have come to a wrong place. The attrition rate which I have in my organization is 2.34%. We don't even talk about attrition. We talk about vintage. And average vintage in my organization is 7 years. I think I am the newest person who has spent 5 years in this organization. So that is the kind of a value which we drive in our organization. Well, these are the new challenges. New technology, global competition, more demanding and professional customer, and that you have already heard. So I am not adding something new in this. Change conditions, new value amongst employees, employees with considerable know-how, reduce loyalty to one's own organization. You see, that is very important. 90s, when the organization started, people used to talk about loyalties. In fact, other day I was talking to an organization called Thomas International. Have you heard about them? None? Have you heard about DISC? HR guys? No. Have you heard about psychometric test? Yes, sir. And you have not heard about DISC? Okay. So one of the system of psychometric test is DISC. And there's an organization called Thomas International, which is based out of UK. And they conduct online. And I was talking to them, they said that 30 years back, one of the attributes of a psychometric test they also had as a loyalty, which got changed to integrity. So that's a shift of paradigm. Loyalty is no more considered as a virtue for the employee. It is the integrity which is considered as a virtue. I was sitting here only when Professor Bala was taking a dipstick of 5 lakhs, 7 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs. And you have heard my predecessor as well. It is not about the money. It is about the performance, the delivery which you give. And if you provide deliveries, if you give deliveries, money is not a criteria in most of the good organizations. Because it is shifting from fixed CTC where 9 to 5, in those days, there was to be a statement called 2 punches and 1 lunches. 2 punch karo, 1 lunch karo, tankhat puri ho gayi. To shift it to what have you delivered today. And your performance is judged out of your delivery and your remuneration is based out of your delivery. Well, these are the challenges which you as a leader would face. A leader is always pressed for time because a leader has to be a multitasker and it is not easy to do multitasking. Lack of cooperation with the organization. I am just trying to put a realistic picture in front of you because I can always give you a very cozy picture and get away out of it. That's not fear. The moment you get into an organization, you will face all those situations which is here. You'll always be pressed for time. Leader always has infights, because somebody, to become a leader, it is not easy to win every person. There are reactions and retaliations. The leader in a negative role model, which I always touch upon. Most of people do get up and say, how do you describe leader in a negative role model? And that's the reason that I have shown a clip of Lagan in my first clip, as a first clip. Probably at that point of a time, till the Mukhya came up and said that let's not make mistake, everybody must have taken him as a negative leader. So any leadership trait starts with a negative thought process, and he has to fight that. He has to have a conviction to fight that and come out as a leader. So every time a leader is always taken as a negative role. These are the four major roles a leader plays. He is a developer of the organization. He is the agent for changes. He has to be a coach, being one that makes demand. Leader is always demanding. You have seen last two clips which says that it is demanding. Now, I have tried to summarize some of the traits which I am sure your book also must be stocking. These are some of the traits which a leader should have. Now, there is an ongoing debate. When do you become leader? Do you become leader now, or do you become really a leader when you grow old like me? Now, will you have all those leadership traits now? Or you will get them, grow them in you by the time you reach with white mustaches like me? You'll have them now also. Okay? We'll come to that. There's a few more. Courage, self-awareness, team player, commitment, high energy level, stress tolerance. This brings me to the answer of the question which I was asking. Is when you talk about leadership in the organizations, there are 5 levels. There is a level of direct leadership, there is a level of organizational leadership, and there is a level of strategic leadership. And I have tried to put them into a bands. There is an executive, there is an effective leader, there is a competent manager who falls under the organizational leadership, and there is a contributing team member, and there is a highly capable individual. Now, each one has a different, that's why I was asking, is different metrics to perform, different work to perform. This is what it talks about. Some of the traits of a leader is to create vision. Now, who creates what? I mean, you cannot be at your entry point would be creating a vision, but you will certainly executing the plans. There is a teamwork, there is a values, and there is a information. So all are you a leader? Good. So let's see, do you follow them or not? Emotions are contagious. Any interpretation? I did not talk about negative or positive. I said emotions are contagious. What passion has got to do with your emotions? You see, leadership is about clinical execution. And when you say clinical execution means what? Have you seen, probably you must have heard, not seen, or seen in the TV, a doctor operating. When he operates, he doesn't consider it as somebody. For him, it's a patient. And his focus is to remove the ailment, and he goes without emotion. So leadership is not about emotions. Because if you see at the slide, I don't know how it is seen there, it's a band of matchsticks. And if one matchstick is flared, be rest assured the entire matchstick band would be flared. That's how emotion works. So as a leader, you all said you are a leader, but then, so let's look at something else. I'm sure you must be doing this. I just heard Professor Wala. I guess last 3-4 presentation you have already seen, be better than all. That's how a leader is. Your continuous striving to do better and better and better is only makes you a leader. So, is all leaders know where is their destination? Do you know your destination? I heard some voice. A leader knows his or her destination. And he works towards that. Excellent manager creates excellent agency. And we were talking about how do you become an excellent leader, at what age? And to put my point, let's look at my last clip.
सर आपके लिए उस पार कार का इंतजाम किया है सर आइए सर चल चल
चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले तुम चलो तो हिंदुस्तान चले लगा हाथ के सूरज सुबह निकाला करे हथेलियों में भरे धूप और उछाला करे ओ लगा हाथ के सूरज सुबह निकाला करे हथेलियों में भरे धूप और उछाला करे उफक पे पाँव रखो और चलो अकड़ के चलो उफक पे पाँव रखो और चलो पकड़ के चलो फलक पकड़ के उठो और हवा पकड़ के चलो फलक पकड़ के उठो और हवा पकड़ के चलो तुम चलो।
So what do you think, what should be the age to become a leader? There is no age bar. You don't need to grow like me and become a leader or anybody. There is no age bar. What is important is to show your traits right now. And though I have shown you a couple of traits, there could be many different people who will come and talk. What is more important for me to you is two simple things. Believe in yourself. Most of us, while our journey of life, get into a situation where we stop believing on ourselves. And that is the time when your leadership starts dying. Always believe on yourself, and you will create wonders, and have the conviction and the courage to stand and say what you believe. In a corporate world, what happens? Most of the good players, good or leaders, good managers never get noticed because they do not have the conviction and the courage to stand up and say, look, boss, this is how it should be done. He follows the same rut and never gets noticed. Don't do that. Well, again, I have come back to my first slide. Are you the best? Louder, did not hear you. Why? Why kill it? Because leadership is something which can never be perfected. If you think you are the best, kill it. Go for the next slide, which will again teach you something more. Okay, great. I think I have not on time. Thank you.